Hi, I'm Olga Zarr and this is SEO in 2023.
Olga, what is your number one SEO tip for 2023?
So my number one tip for SEO in 2023 is to always go an extra mile with anything you do in SEO. And I will be exploring that in more detail in 4 areas such as keyword research and content creation, SEO audits, and technical SEO.
Superb stuff. Okay, shall we dive into keyword research? How do you go the extra mile in keyword research?
So in keyword research, when you are looking for potential keywords, topics, maybe we should treat them as topics, not as keywords any longer. So when you're looking for new keywords, you shouldn't just rely on one tool. You should rely on 5 or even more tools. You can use like standard keyword tools such as Keyword Explorer in Ahrefs, SEMrush, those types of tools, but you can also use other tools such as Also Asked, Answer the Public, which are showing you like more question types of keywords. You can also explore Google autocomplete. Whenever you're looking for a topic, try to explore that topic using all those 5-7 tools, not just one.
Obviously, the more traditional keyword tools tend to give you search volume for those particular phrases in different countries, but newer keyword tools like you mentioned, like Also Asked, don't give any search volume, largely because you're talking about fairly long tail keyword phrases and questions that either don't have search volume, or the keywords tools, i.e. Google, the probably provider of information to keyword tools, don't actually disclose the search volume for those phrases. So how do you go about utilizing those keyword phrases? Do you use a combination of them? Do you use, for instance, some keyword phrases with high search volume from traditional keyword tools plus Also Asked tools on the same piece?
So usually that's how I do it. In the case of in-depth, longer guides I usually rely on those keywords that have high volume search. And when I create supporting articles for those in-depth, longer guides, then I rely on longer tail keywords that usually don't have any volume shown in those tools, but still, from my experience, even those long tail, 0 volume keywords usually can bring significant amount of traffic. So I'm not like wed to keyword to the volume those keywords have, but rather I want to find the keywords that I know I can explore, that I know that I can talk about those topics. And if I create a lot of those articles about those specific long tail topics, I have a silo already on my site, and usually this silo works relatively okay and nicely supports those really like hard, more competitive, more difficult keywords that do have a lot of volume monthly searches.
So what's your explanation of why keywords with allegedly no search volume bring in a decent amount of traffic? I mean, are platforms like Google and other keyword data providers just not giving us the information, or is there another explanation for this?
I would say the databases of those keywords, maybe those tools may not have data about those keywords yet. Usually Google, I don't remember the exact percentage, but Google has 50-20% of new keywords entered into its search engine like every day. So we may not have data about some of those keywords yet. Sometimes when a new product comes out, we can immediately know what keywords may be used to search for it. We can decide about those keywords in advance. So I would say we don't need that data, to be honest, because there are so many different variations that I don't really I don't really spend a lot of time on analyzing keyword volume. Instead, I focus on what's ranking in top 10 and whether I potentially stand a chance of being there. And that's my maybe a bit simplified method, but
but that's good advice. I like the good advice because I think that many SEOs are guilty of, and I can understand this, because I've come from a background of SEO as well, of perhaps majoring on issues that perhaps doesn't have an impact on the bottom line. And whether something's an issue or not, if it isn't that important when it comes to actually delivering value to your client, delivering rankings, delivering traffic, delivering conversions, then forget about it and actually focus on something that makes the difference. So your number 2 way of going the extra mile is focusing on content creation. What do you mean by this?
This is slightly is connected to keyword research as well. So when you create new content, go the extra mile by creating something that's more in depth. Don't just summarize what's already in top 10, but create something new, add your own commentary, your own unique insights, maybe your own research results, your own conclusions, your own experience, because this is something that will be interesting to people. Of course, you have to keep search intent in mind. You cannot just create something totally different, and because probably you won't be ranking for that if you don't satisfy the intent for that query, but you still can do it way better than the rest of 10 than the 10 top sites do that. So spend more time maybe on creating those articles, but do them in a better way.
And number 3, third way of going the extra mile, content audits.
So yeah, that's SEO audits. That's my kind of area of expertise. So don't rely on just the tools telling you what to do, what mistakes a site has, what issues the site has. You should follow your own lead, your own template. You should have your own list of things you check when you do an audit, and you should be applying always your common SEO sense, your SEO experience when doing an SEO audit. Add a quick wins section to your audit, even though you are supposed to audit the site and find the mistakes, the issues. You may add quick wins section and list 10 things that can be improved quite easily and which can bring relatively quick effects. And usually this will make your SEO audit way more powerful, and you will be able to provide sometimes the results within weeks, not within months or even years, depending on the case.
So what's an example of a quick win that you've picked up that hasn't really necessarily been picked up by a traditional SEO audit?
So for example, I usually like to look for sites, analyze the sites that already rank relatively well. And I like to offer some further optimizations for those sites, for example, through internal linking or through on-page optimization. So I always check how the site ranks in Google Search Console, Ahrefs, SEMrush, all those tools. So I check the rankings, and if the site is, for example, on position 5, the page is on position 5 for some query, I analyze this page and, for example, suggest that maybe with those few small optimizations we can move the site to position 3 or 1. Or another thing I like to do is I check what pages have the best backlinks, and on those pages I like to add internal links to pages which we want to help move higher up. So usually this is not a standard thing you do as part of audit, especially technical SEO audit, but I like to add this as a bonus.
That's great. That's great because I think coming up with an internal link strategy seems to lie between technical SEO and kind of SEO content strategy. And I think pure content focused people probably don't think that much about internal linking. So I guess it's something that could be missed.
Yes, exactly. From my experience, yes, practically every site I audit always has something to be improved in that regard.
And the fourth way of going the extra mile is to focus on technical SEO.
Yes, is to go an extra mile with technical SEO. And here the example of that would be JavaScript SEO. So usually what we often do is we simply check the site we do mobile friendly test, and in a mobile friendly test or in GSC live test, depending if you have access to the site, you see the screenshot of the homepage or of the page you are checking. Now recently you can also move, you can scroll a bit, you can see more of that, what Google is seeing, how the rendered page looks. But I recommend going an extra mile by, for example, crawling the site with two crawlers, like for example Screaming Frog and Sitebulb, executing JavaScript on both. So that you can, because if we are talking about a huge site, for example, e-commerce site that has tens of thousands of pages, it may be tricky for you to do this manually. So if you render JavaScript on all pages, the tool will help you compare what links are, for example, added with JavaScript, if there are some important content differences. If some content is not visible, it will be way easier for you to prepare like site-wide analysis of what's actually going on in terms of JavaScript SEO, whether the content is the same, the links are the same, or if there are changes, if these changes really can impact your SEO bottom line.
So you talked about crawling with both Screaming Frog and Sitebulb. What specifically are you looking for that's different between the two different crawlers? And isn't there a potential negative there about actually not knowing which information to trust if you're using too many different tools?
That's a good question. So I like using two tools because each tool works a bit differently, shows a bit different results, and kind of I listen to my own my own checklist of things I want to check, and I simply analyze the results and kind of I check the things I want to check by looking at the results. It is not the tool that is telling me that this is the problem. For example, when it comes to JavaScript SEO, I check canonical links, whether they are changed, or I check internal linking or links in navigation. So I know what I want to check, and I simply use the results provided by those tools and kind of follow my own template I've created for myself, and I keep updating.
Superb. Okay, well, you've shared what SEO should be doing in 2023, so now let's talk about what SEO shouldn't be doing. So what's something that's seductive in terms of time but ultimately counterproductive, something that SEOs shouldn't be doing in 2023?
Regarding SEO audits, I think SEOs, especially less experienced SEOs, I think they are prone to doing that, is you shouldn't rely on automated audits. For example, Sitebulb, practically any tool can generate a very long automated SEO audit that, for example, has 90 pages with explanations, everything, and it is tempting. You just hit generate, export, and you have like great audit that was created in 30 seconds. But don't do that, because usually what you have there has nothing to do with how this audit should really look, because only you as an SEO with your experience can decide whether a specific issue marked by the tool as issue is really an issue, because you know the context of the site, you know the scope of the site, you know the purpose of the site, the challenges the site is facing, and no tool knows that. So don't do that. Use your SEO brain to create SEO audits and add your own commentary that's really tailored to the site and uses the examples from the site, no general vague examples that this is a mistake, fix it. If you want them to fix it, show how it should be fixed.
So you mentioned that you often come up with your own templates for conducting an SEO audit. Do you actually design a bespoke template for each site based upon what the issues are likely to be, what their CMS is, what the likely desired outcomes are likely to be?
No, I have like my own universal template, which is currently, I think, 250 items has, and sometimes some items won't apply to a specific site, so I simply remove them. But it probably has everything from technical SEO to content analysis to even Google questions about core updates to EAT. Everything is there, and depending on what type of audit the client buys, I adjust that template.
Olga Zarr is an SEO consultant and CEO at SEO Sly, and you can find her over at seosly.com. Olga, thanks so much for being part of SEO in 2023.
Thank you, it was a pure pleasure to be here again.
Get your copy of SEO in 2023, the book, over at seoin2023.com.